Hi, you guys. Welcome to my closet. Things are getting worse. They are absolutely ratcheting up the nasty against American citizens. I will tell you, if you get a chance to look at all the protests that are happening globally in honor of George Floyd and what's happening in America. To know that we have that much support is incredibly touching. There's another aspect I wanted to share with you guys tonight, because after I just posted that one video about why is this happening because of Venus being retrograde, there's another thing that's happening, and I don't think I've talked about it very much at all, but tonight I noticed that Pluto, the planet of destruction, death, turmoil, it is at 24 degrees Capricorn, 40 minutes, and it's going retrograde. Everything is retrograde right now. We are revisiting everything, the horrors from the past. And that number 2440 kept standing out to me. I couldn't recall why I know this number so intimately. I did find one reason why, but I know there's a bigger one, and I when I find that answer, I'll share it with you. But here, at the spring ingress, the first day of spring, this is the chart that details kind of the mood or what's going to be happening for a certain season. And just like how my lunations are active week to week, the seasonal ingresses are active for that season. So on the first day of spring, back on March 19th, in Washington, D.C., on the ascendant, we had Scorpio, very intense, the ruler of life and death. It rules over politics, transformation, things that are taboo, other people's money, taxes. Things that are hidden. Well, at this ingress, Pluto in the second house of income, gains, and values, and when I am talking about values, I'm also talking about white supremacy. Pluto was at 24 degrees 40 minutes, exactly where she is today. Pluto was going forward in motion at this time. Right now she's retrograding and she's going backwards. And so what happens then, because this planet, this powerhouse, is moving back to where she was on the first day of spring, it's like, oh, I remember the first day of spring. What was so powerful on the first day of spring? Well, the sun had moved into Aries, and it means that all things that happen for this season are related to Mars. And Mars, not because of aggression, but more because of growth. In the spring, you see new life shoot through the soil. Nothing can stop it. And it's surging forth like it's on a new frontier. It is aggressively going for life to meet the sun. It is guided by the warmth of the solar system. And so Mars is action. Mars Aries is such an incredibly powerful warrior. Aries in a new year has the optimism that it brings with new life and new growth. But it's so strong that it pulls the entire zodiac into a new cycle, the first day of spring. And everything has to adjust accordingly. And Aries has to be energized to fire up the entire zodiac. Not only for the spring, but to keep pushing forward in the solar cycle until we get all the way to the end again. And we start again in the following spring. So Pluto was at 24 degrees, 40 minutes on the first day of spring. Ding! There's the message. Mars. Mars is what I do this time around. So Mars today got lit up. Actually got lit up over the weekend because this is such a slow moving planet. And what is Mars doing right now? Well, right now it is about 13 degrees Pisces. It's in this area, the fourth house of the United States, or over DC. The fourth house, what have I been telling you the fourth house is about? That's about defending yourself, defending home. It has to do with how we are nurturing one another and being nurtured and have a sense of security. So Mars, it feels like we're battling for the life of who we are against a regime that is out of control with fanaticism and a lawless attorney general that is allowing all of this to happen. They're going military today. Why is that? Well, also in the United States natal chart, the ascendant of the U.S. chart is at 12 degrees Sagittarius. So Mars in Pisces has been in a raw, tough, mean square with the ascendant of the United States of America. The ascendant, that is your personality. That is how you project yourself to the world. Sagittarius rules over law and law enforcement. So we've got this battle with defending home, which is in square, which means conflict, fighting, tension with law enforcement. And the entire world is watching right now, and the entire world is horrified. Like, we all are horrified. So this Pluto at 24 degrees and 40 minutes is extraordinarily active right now, fueled by the spring chart in which Mars takes over the fighting, the action, the warrior. Here's the other thing that I haven't talked very much about. You know, I have talked a lot about this 24 degree mark in astrology, about the eclipses, especially I called it the Canopener eclipse that happened last July 16th. I was very excited for this Canopener eclipse because when you look at 23, 24, 25, those numbers, 24 obviously is in the middle of 23 and 25. I like it because in Donald's natal chart, his Venus is 23 degrees Cancer, nothing at 24, and at 25 degrees Cancer is Saturn. So there's this little open window that divides his money from the obstacles for people to see his money and his taxes. So this eclipse last summer took place at 24 degrees. And Pluto has been hanging out at this 24 degree mark for a long time. I mean, look at how hard it's been to get his money, get his taxes, so we can find out what is going on. That door is being held open, and this administration is fighting it so hard. Well, the other thing that is happening in this space, because Pluto is at 24 degrees Capricorn, 180 degrees opposite is 24 degrees Cancer. In the United States chart, this is where it gets difficult. At 24 degrees Cancer, the United States has Mercury. Mercury rules over our communications. It rules the news. It rules the media. It rules neighborhoods. It rules children. It rules how we talk to one another. It rules our siblings, our extended families. Mercury in the United States chart, not only is it 24 degrees Cancer, it's in this 8th house, ruled by Scorpio, life and death, transformation, taxes, other people's money. It's also retrograde. So it's kind of weak in a certain way. But the thing is that Pluto has been bearing down at the 24-degree mark for about 3 months. I think in all, it's going to be there for about 4 months. And during this transit, eclipses are activated. So when it feels like our media has its back against the wall, when it feels like our voices are being silenced, trying to be killed off, it's because of Pluto destruction in opposition to that in our USA chart. We're also coming up to our Pluto return. We're also going through a Neptune type of return. It's really difficult. It's very hard. At last year on USA birthday, had a horrible solar return chart that I finally looked at recently. Things will let off come July 4th-ish, whenever our actual solar return is. But as we get into the waning days of spring, which we've got a couple weeks to go, 3 weeks to go, this is when there isn't much juice left in the tank to create something new. All of our planets are retrograde right now. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Venus is still retrograde. She doesn't go forward until June 24th or 25th. Mercury will retrograde later on, but the thing is, when we start the Cancer season, Venus is still retrograde. So we're going to still have these Venus retrograde type of issues active throughout this summer. We have 3 eclipses coming up. We haven't even gotten to the part where Mars goes retrograde in Aries, which squares all this stuff. So I do not want to be the bearer of bad news. We're in this to win this. We are in this for the long haul. Our administration is in deep trouble, and they would only act out this way if they weren't so scared. You have Russian oligarchs fleeing back to Russia. Let me in, let me in. Those people are under judgment from their own country. Today, Mike Pompeo essentially said the Taliban is going to fight alongside the United States with Al-Qaeda. Since when do we make deals with the Taliban to fight with us against Al-Qaeda? I've done 2 readings on the Taliban, and that is another way that money is laundered back to Russia. Russia is scared. They should be scared, because we can bear down and we can get through this turmoil. Trump and the Russians will not. They will not. I want to throw some cards on Russian mercenaries in the United States, because I think that is part of who and what is feeding this chaos. And I wouldn't doubt if there's Israeli mercenaries as well. Eric Prince could get these people together. His specialty is crowd disbursement, crowd control, when he's working with China and others. But before I get to that, I need to give a shout out for Alternative Health Digital. I was only able to catch the last like 15 minutes or so of her live tonight on Aquamarine, and they did a meditation related to the color and gemstone of aquamarine, which is so needed right now. So powerful. It couldn't come at a better time because aquamarine rules the throat area, the throat chakra. Voices being silent or silenced, we can help. The throat is ruled by Venus. Venus is retrograde. Our voices are not strong. I highly recommend you do the meditation. I still haven't listened to the first part as it related to the news, but please check that out. It does magnificent wonders for the voice. I know I'm kind of hoarse right now. That's because I won't even go in there. I'm using my voice, and it is so powerful right now. But here, Tarot, please show me the Russian mercenaries or similar in our country with the protests. Show me Russian mercenaries. Show me the Russian mercenaries. Oh gosh, my cards are so tight they don't want to open up. Wow. Show me the Russian mercenaries. There we go. Provoking outrage. Extremism. What else are they doing? They're doing this like clockwork. They're running the propaganda. They have a routine. They have this highly organized to provoke this. That's what their job is doing. And they're getting a lot of money. Probably Bitcoin, crypto. Making a lot of money off of this. What else are they doing? Doesn't feel right. Wow, they are running their errands for the Republican Party because the Republican Party wants to make sure that they win. This is a sort of victory. In my live last night that I did, what were the 3 primary reasons that the Nine of Pentacles, the oligarchs, American oligarchs, needed to do with these protests? This was number 1. We have Russian mercenaries doing the bidding of the Republican Party and American oligarchs. What else are you doing, Russian mercenaries? Partaking in the judgment that's going on around the world, I would say. But here in the United States, there's a protest. Everyone rises up. Things are happening in the sky from helicopters and tear gas and the like. What else are you doing, mercenaries? They're working for the Donald Trump campaign. Basis of all this is to target the protests and ensure Donald gets elected. Christ. There's Putin. Timing. Yes, that's what they're doing. I'm going to end this video here. I could go on and on and on because obviously you can hear how angry I am in my voice. You guys go do that meditation with Alternative Health Digital and Aquamarine. You'll feel a lot better. Thanks, you guys. Hang in there. We will get through this.